will automatically redirect people to watch on YouTube, you know, to help us save costs and also get a message directly recorded for our review or preview or afterwards. So replace and afterwards. So yes, we are live on YouTube now, and over to you, my brother. Please take over.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jerry. It's nice being back here again, like I said earlier. And of course, we're going to do justice to exactly what we know how best to do in terms of making you all understand more about this particular opportunity that we'll be talking about personally for me, I think it's over 5 months now. Yes, June precisely. And of course, I know there are some persons that might be also on this call that have been doing this since May. That should be way over 6 months for them. And of course, I know some persons joined July, August, and maybe some even September, October. But the bottom line is that we have something that makes sense, something that we've come to terms with in terms of us building our belief system in it, in terms of us building our trust in it, and of course, having that much confidence to start saying that, yes, we can vouch for this. We can actually say this is something that has come to stay. Yes, this is something that has come to stay because we've done a lot of things in the past. Thank God Mr. Jerry talked about it. We've done a lot of businesses in the past. Some worked, some just didn't work. And one of those things we learned in the terms of those that didn't work was that we picked some lessons from there. Because I think it should be even like late last year, I got involved in an opportunity and just within 2 months, it closed up for me. And I was like, what is happening again? After all the experiences we've had in this industry, in this space, how will the project just come back? Within 2 months, it just spoils your ranking, spoils your level. We'll start going back to the drawing board. One thing about this drawing board thing is that, especially for those of us in Nigeria, that we are not going to work up. Our drawing board is always littered with a lot of nonsense. And you're like, this drawing board, how do we rearrange the drawing board again to start looking forward or moving forward? And it's always a lot of confusions here and there. And I told myself last day that if I'm not going to be doing any drawing boards, let me say I want to come back for my drawing board. I have to take all my time in terms of doing all the due diligence, making sure that we have all the T's crossed, everything we need to checked, and sincerely, Matt actually has been able to live up to our expectation. You understand? I am very, very much sure that moving into next year, 2026, a lot of us are going to be doing great things. We are going to be celebrating big things. I'm looking forward to anything from like maybe February, January. Some persons now, because of their earnings, all power through SMART now, we're having to have to start dedicating brand new cars, brand new properties. People are going to be having to even sometimes even travel out, go for some vacations that they've been long dreaming of, all because of this opportunity called SMART. For those of you that are new, I want to welcome you all to this session tonight. Basically, what we do with this session is to do what we call trainings. Our trainings are always educational in terms of we look at it from every perspective. We look at it from the technical part, we look at it from the money-making part, we also look at it from the community reward part in terms of how you can even expand the business, how you can even take it up upon yourself that, okay, this is a business that I want to work, with. I want it to change not just your own life personally, but of course, lives of people around you. You understand? And that's exactly what we're going to be doing within the next couple of few minutes here. And of course, for those that have attended any one of our Zoom, you know that our Zooms are always very, very interactive. Of course, you'll be able to ask your questions, be able to get it answered, and most importantly, you should be able to at least have something to say, to anybody that asks you that, okay, that Zoom that you attended, what was the major key point, or what was the major thing you heard from there? After this presentation, you have 1 or 2 things to say about it. So I'm going to be jumping straight into the slides now. Our slide is always like our guide. That's what's going to be guiding us on everything we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to be sharing the screen now. So please just follow me through. Sir Jerry, I hope I'm still loud and clear.
Loud and clear, my brother. Fire
awesome.
on.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so Right on my screen here is an opportunity that is called SMARTS. SMARTS basically it's a trading bot. It's a trading bot. You can call it a trading AI. You can call it a trading robot. Some different names people give it. Automation, autopilot earnings from crypto, whatever name you want to put it. It's just basically a tool that has been given to us by SMARTS. SMARTS is basically the parent company that actually developed this bot. And what they actually created this bot to do is that it has been created to help us trade smarter and not harder. Trade smarter and not harder. My background in terms of anything online business actually started from trading. Way back as 2008, 2009, when I finished in school, the very first thing I jumped into was Forex trading. You understand? So my journey in terms of trading has been way over 10 years now, because you do a lot of tests, do a lot of blowing of accounts, come back again, you blow it again, you come back again. So the first line that actually struck me, now let me say that, caught my attention with SMART was the fact that it said that we are going to be giving us a tool that's going to be helping us trade smarter. The word trade there was what actually caught my attention, because I'm always interested in anything trading, because to me, money doesn't fall from the cloud again. It doesn't fall from heaven again. So that means for us to be able to say, okay, we want to make money, in this world, like my mentor will always say, it's just a simple thing. Just create something, a product, a service, or or a device, anything. Just create something that can allow people, or let me say, solve a lot of problems for people. And in return, what you get back for that is value, and the value is always coming as an exchange. You give people something, a tool, create a product and services that's going to solve a lot of problems for them, and in return, they pay you back for it. That's what happens, and that's one of the basic ways in which we make money. So I know also too that if it will have to do with buying and selling, that means you are basically trading. So the word trading, some persons might be looking at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm buying crypto, I'm selling and stuff like that. Some other persons might be looking at it from stocks trading, some shares trading, some financial markets, currency trading, whatever name or whatever financial assets you are trading, everybody is doing what we call buying and selling. So this particular boat is also a boat that we do buying and selling. But its own way of buying and selling is so simplified, it's so easy. The way it has been done is that it makes you to actually trade without you yourself knowing that you are trading. Go over it again. It's something that has been created in such a way that you will be trading, but you will not be involved in any way, but you are going to be benefiting from the proceeds of the trading. You understand? So here we have a tool that's been created to help us make money from the crypto market trading space. But this time around is basically focused on what we call the memes coin trading space. In crypto, we have the mainstream crypto that is currently going through some baptism of fire currently now. Bitcoin, Ethereum are going way deep down. Like I told some person like some couple of 3 months ago or 2-3 months ago that what I'm seeing on the chart anytime soon, get ready. The bloodbath is going to happen and is already happening. Bitcoin has, I think it's going around 90, 80,000 dollar zone now. And it's still going further down. You understand? So a lot of the times when I get talking with people in crypto and they tell me, okay, they have a boat that is trading. I ask them, okay, which part of the crypto is this your boat trading? They tell me it's the mainstream. I say, I know some kind of boat have a season. They are seasonal things. Why? Because an average boat, you don't even need a boat to make money. If you understand the seasons around Bitcoin, you understand. Like there's always a bear season, there's always a bull season. It happens every 4 years and stuff like that. So just positioning yourself around that side, you'll be able to make money from that mainstream crypto. You understand? But it's not everybody that has that knowledge, that have that understanding. So a lot of persons wants to leverage an automated system that helps them to make money trading that. You understand? But that side also too, one other constraint towards making money from that is that it's also affected by what we call fundamental. That is the news. You understand? That means the big boys in the space, the institutional investors, the likes of the Trumps now of this world, actually play around with the mainstream cryptos, Bitcoin, for example, now, because they have the large chunk of it. You understand? So they can do anything at any point in time. You understand? But this particular boat is completely out of that space. Is taking off that particular risk of you saying that, okay, you enter a trade tonight before you wake up tomorrow morning, because of course, for those of us, most of us, let me say 100% of every one of us on this call are Africans, you know. I know our time zone thing, you understand? When we are sleeping is when they are actively engaging in different activities. China is 7 hours ahead of us. So you just discover that you are right there on the bed and somebody is doing some things behind you. You wake up and you start being the one that will start bearing the brunt of somebody's decision somewhere that you don't know. You understand? So when I got introduced to SMART, one of the things I was trying to ask myself is, I don't want any vote that will give me I'll go to bed happy and I'll wake up sad. No, I don't want any vote like that. I want to sleep happy and wake up happy without any fear of saying, okay, I wake up and all my portfolio is down like that. You understand? So this vote basically trades the meme coin part of the crypto, which is less different by anything fundamental effects by all these big shots in the industry. You understand? So this vote, knowing that it trades meme coins, actually gave me, you know, it was like, okay, let me just go all in for this. I need to check in and out of this. And sincerely, SmartBot has been doing wonders. You understand? So SMART basically is a multi-chain MEV trading ecosystem that runs 24/7 across Solana, Ethereum, BSC, and Base, executing real on-chain arbitrage and sandwich trades automatically. I go over that again. Is executing real on-chain arbitrage and sandwich trades automatically. So basically, all you just need to do is to get this boat, feed it with your capital, sit back, and you see it executing high-frequency MEV sandwich trade with precision and speed. For those of you that are completely new to anything trading or anything crypto or anything blockchain or anything digital assets, this side might be a little bit confusing, but I'll make it very simple for you. This boat is not a boat that is leveraging, or let me say, is making money doing what we call predictive market trading. Most of the times when you're trading Forex, when you're trading crypto, what we are doing is that we are just like playing, we are trying to put ourselves in the position of God, being able to say, okay, based on what I see here, what I see on this chart, okay, this candle is falling. Okay, this candle is following this pattern. The price of this particular asset should go up. In fact, let me say 90% of what we do in trading is what we call prediction. We are speculating. Nobody can actually say it's like the alpha and omega of where the market is going to move in the next maybe 1 hour, 4 hours, or 1 day or 1 month. You understand? We are basically leveraging on, let's say, some historical things we've seen on the chart, confirming it with what we are currently seeing, and of course, maybe with some 1 or 2 confirmations like that. So what we are basically doing in trading is that we are predicting and speculating to the future that the price of this asset is going to be, maybe it's at 1. We are going to be saying that, okay, because of these conditions we are seeing on our screen on the chart, that the price is going to be moving from 1 to 2. Sometimes, even with all this our analysis, like I said, do all your analysis, do all your entry, enter the trade. Within the next 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you go in your favor and you're all to the blues, like you are happy, jumping everywhere that you are about making money. And you're saying, okay, let me just leave it. It's going to still get up higher. Go to bed, wake up, and instead of it going higher, it's going deeper. Why? Because it's just basically a thing of speculation. Yes, sometimes due to money management and some things we do, we tend to scale it up, gradually over time, and we at least make money. But eventually, somehow, we still end up coming back to this drawing board in terms of coming back to the zero level. You understand? But this particular boat is not a speculative boat. It's not trading based on, the price of this particular meme coin it has bought is going to be increasing in the next 15, 30 minutes. No. It's basically working with what we call an arbitrage, or let me say, just playing around the market sentiment or market psychology. This is what I mean. Whether you like it or not, if you are buying a coin, for you to make money from it, you must also be ready to sell it. If you're buying at 1, you'll be thinking of, okay, once the price moves to 1.5 or 2, I'm going to sell and I'll take my profit. You understand? This bot is basically now saying that, okay, instead of me going from 1 to 1.5 to 2 to make profit, why don't I just sit back and look at, okay, how many people are actually interested in buying this token? How many numbers of persons, what amount of money are people ready to put down for this particular meme coin? Can I actually see, is it possible for me to be able to spot where the money is actually going to? You understand? This bot is basically an artificial intelligence power bot that has that capability, has that capacity to be able to scan the meme pool and say, wow, these so numbers of persons are ready to buy this coin. Please stop annotating. I'm going to disable it now. Let me just quickly do that because I'm already seeing some persons doing that on our screen. Okay, I've cleared all the joins, so let me just quickly disable it so that we won't have anybody annotating on the screen again. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, disable annotation for others. Good. All right, sorry about that break. So this bot has that artificial intelligence power to be able to spot exactly where people are actually putting their money. You understand? So it's working around what we call an order book balance, or what we call a meme pool balance for meme coins trading. What order book means is that it wants to check how many people are on the buy side, how many people are on the sell side. Once you see that, yes, there are more persons heavily interested in buying that token, what it just basically does is that we just jump ahead of the queue. So it's more or less like it's working with a strategy that is basically built around first in, first out system. That means, wow, 1,000 persons wants to buy this. Is it possible for me to jump ahead of those 1,000 people to buy that token? You understand? They both has that capacity to jump ahead of those 1,000 persons and buy it. So once it has bought, since he knows that, yes, so 1,000 people are also behind it and wants to buy that particular token, what it just basically does is that he buys and waits for everybody to start buying. Immediately has bought his own, everybody start buying, the price moves up, and he just jumps straight to sell it again, and automatically it has made its own profit without anything called speculation built around it. So it's not a thing of saying, oh, it's until when the price moves up before it takes profit. No, it's just jumping ahead of the crowd, taking his own position. The crowd comes in, the crowd buys it, the price shoots up, it exits the market, moves on to another token. So the bot repeats this cycle virtually every time there's a new token popping up on the exchange. The exchange that this bot is trading on is GMGN Decentralized Exchange. It's one of the topmost decentralized exchanges in the world. Of course, you can fact check me after this meeting. You can go online, go on Google and do your research about GMGN. So SMARTS is not the owner of GMGN. It's just basically trading meme coins on GMGN using its own coded strategy that has been imputed into this bot. And what's the strategy all over again? Jump ahead of the crowd, buy the token, the crowd comes in, they start buying, the price shoots up, I get out. Move on to another token, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And it does this 24/7, generating a profit seamlessly for everybody. That's why over time, because of the way it's doing this almost every minute, it tends to take little profit. It's not a greedy bot. It's not a bot that's waiting to do 10%. It's not even looking at even doing 1%. It's not looking at doing even 0.5%. Once it buys and the crowd comes in, the price shoots up just little, maybe 0.01% up from his own entry point it sells. Simple as that. So that's why with these little drops of profit is making, before you know it, within 24-hour cycle, they will have given you 0.5%, 0.4%, sometimes 0.8%, even sometimes even as high as 1%, and sometimes even as high as 1.7%. I think the highest we've seen so far, I think it's around 1.76% so far. But it has the capacity of even doing up to 2%. What I usually tell persons is that just keep it simple. On average, every day, this bot actually does 1%. The past history has shown this to us, like in the last 30 days, as you can see right here on my screen, it's been doing some days. I think the lowest so far that we've seen in the last 30 days was this. Today it is 0.33%. For that day, I didn't sleep well. I was like, oh God. But suddenly, the following day, jumped up to 1.05%, 1.46%, 1.2%, 1.45%. And in this last 7 days, it's been ranging between 1%, 1.05%, and on like that. So by default, if you get the bot today, putting your capital $1,000, at least every day should be scooping out $8, $10, $15 a month for yourself. All depends on what the boat is actually churning out from trading these meme coins on GMGN every day. You understand? So that is basically how this boat works. And it's been doing this since May. Since May, like I usually tell person, if this is a fluke or if this is something that is not real, I'm very sure it will have faded up by now. Most times, things built around trading, if it's not real, if it's not sustainable, within 1 or 2 months, it will have faded up, because if the profit is not coming, that means there won't be anything being distributed to anyone. You understand? It will have faded up. But because this bot is not working with any complex algorithm, no complex prediction, speculative strategy, just simple thing, come in before everybody, take your profit when everybody come in, go back again, come in before everybody, take your profit when everybody goes back. It keeps doing this little by little, 24/7, and generating this profit stress for itself. You understand? So the smart ecosystem is actually built for long term. You understand? Built for long term. And to make this also super interesting to every one of us, the smart system, anytime it makes profit every day, 54% of it goes into what we call the profit pool, and 46% of it goes into the reward pool. This reward pool, this 46% could be something that could even take over the passive one you are earning. Don't worry, my brother Jerry is going to be doing justice to that part, because I know that is most times his own area of specialization. He likes talking about that. He's going to talk about that during his session. So, but once it makes, if the boat makes 1.7% today, 54% of it goes to investors, 46% now goes to us, to everybody that is pushing the other part of the business, which is called the community rewards. So this boat basically trades on meme coins on Solana, Binance Smart Chain, on Ethereum, stuff like that. So it's been doing this consistently well. It has over 95,000 active users now. Users spread across different countries, at over 50 countries now globally. Over 100,000 boot activations just within the last Q3. And of course, on average, every day it's been doing 0.3%, 1.7% daily reward for its users. You understand? So in order for you to start using this bot, it's very simple. All you just need to do is to activate the bot with $50, or if you're lucky, you could actually win, maybe if you're lucky to just get some of the free boats that's available from some leaders around, to get it. But standardly, the boat costs $50. It's still going up to as high as $100, but now currently it's still $50. So I advise, because like Jerry will always say, some persons were here when this boat was for free, when they were giving it out for free. Some persons also too were here when the boat was just for $10. Now it's at $50. Don't be like those people that will still be saying, we are still studying, and finally they will not be getting the boat when it's $100. Please don't let that be your case. If you're on this call tonight, after this meeting, ensure that you get the boat. Once you've gotten the boat, the next thing is now for you to feed the boat with your capital. Feed it with your capital. Your capital can decide that, okay, I want to do a test run with $20 for just 1 day, so that I'll see how the boat trade in terms of the trades, how you can verify the trade directly on chain and stuff like that. You can just start with $20. But sincerely, this after over 5 months, 6 months, I don't even talk to people about $20. I just tell them, go and start with 100 days. At least start with the $100 that has no cap. $100 means that you can do 200, you can do 300, you can do 1,000, you can do 5,000, you can do $10,000, as much as your purse can actually carry. You understand? So what the duration basically means is that if you want to use the boat for 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, in 100 days, in 180 days, you have all the options for you. And the boat subscription is a lifetime subscription. You don't do any monthly renewal yet. This is not a pay by click or pay by sub, or let me say pay by subscription, but no. One time, lifetime purchase, and the boat is yours for life. You understand? So yours is just to keep feeding the boat with the capital, make your profit, go and do whatever you want to do with your profit. Let it do is 100 days, let it do is 30 days, and you get your own. So, but one thing also included in this boat is that for this boat to continuously also benefit also the producers, or let me say the developers and creators of this boat. That's what we call a profit sharing algorithm that is also included in the daily profit we make. If you're on a 1 day contract, it's a 50% profit share. So that means, like today, I think the boat did around 1.05%. So that means out of the 1.05%, 50% of it comes to you, 50% goes to developers. 7 days is 45% profit sharing. 30 days is 65%, 35% profit sharing. 100 days is 80%, 20% profit sharing. And 180 days is what? 90%, 10% profit sharing. 100 days was the reigning champion as at May, June, July, August, September. But suddenly October, 180 days came on board. You understand? So what 180 days has not done is that it has not given us as investors more options now to keep more of the profit. We are now keeping a larger share of the profit, which is 90% of it to ourselves. You understand? So you have options within these to do whatever things you want to do. And like I said from the beginning, this is a boat that is so decentralized that you can actually view every single one of the trades that this boat actually does directly on chain. You understand? Right here in front of us is some live trades now that is currently going on one of the smart contract that this boat is actually connected with. These are live trades. But as at November now, on just this particular smart contract, this boat has actually produced a total profit of how much? Let's check it directly on chain. $1.5 million just from this contract. There are a lot of other contracts that the boat is actually trading from. As you can see right here on the screen, this is the repository. This actually contains virtually all the smart contracts that this boat is connected with. You understand? Each one of these contracts is trading different meme coins on its own. Some on Solana blockchain, as you can see here, some on Ethereum blockchain, some on Binance blockchain. And each one of them is definitely generating its own profit. So imagine just one contract already in November has produced a profit of over $1.5 million. So now look at what the other contracts will definitely be producing eventually at the end of November. As at October update alone, this was actually made over $30 million profit from trading members of GNGN spread across Solana, Ethereum, and Binance blockchain in October. It made over $30 million from all the contract that has been linked up with it. So this is not a vote, or let me say, this is not a system. This is not an opportunity that is going to be going anytime soon because the money is there. We are not struggling with a system that's saying, okay, we are waiting until people come in. It's not a Peter waiting for a poor situation. It's not a thing of saying, okay, leader, just go and keep refining people, keep going. No, without bringing anybody. Like I usually totally discuss with Steve. And sometimes when we are doing some of our leadership, this is a board that whether you bring go, whether you invite to, it will keep making money because it has been making money for the developers before they even decided to throw it all out to the public. You understand? So we have a system that has been built. We have a board that has been built to take us to the promised land. So all we just need to do is to just position ourselves, make sure we maximize every opportunity right here to make sure that we make our 2026 one of the best year ever. Because to me, 2025 is as good as wrapped up. This is just like we have just done what we call an appetizer. We just wet the ground in 2025. 2026 definitely is going to be one of the biggest year for every one of us, especially for everybody that's going to be taking this opportunity very, very, very serious. So let me just quickly wrap up with just some little differences between some of the contracts. 30 days, the 100 days contract, 1 day, the 7 days contract, you could actually pull out your capital at any day, anytime you want. But there's a condition. The condition is that if you are terminating your contract before its expiry, let's say, for example, you are on a 100 days contract, and let's say 60 days into the contract, you decided you have an emergency, you just want to stop everything. Yes, the board is not going to say you can't remove your capital. You can remove it, but it's also going to remove whatever profit you have been paid from that contract. You understand? So that means, for example, if you're starting with $1,000, you're on the 100 days contract, let's say it's paid like $400 profit, which you have withdrawn, and you now want to terminate your contract before the 100 days. What the board is going to basically return back to you is what? 1,000 minus 400 profit you've taken, $600 profit back remaining for yourself. So that's the way all these contracts work. But the 180 days contract, you cannot actually withdraw your contract, your capital until I think I'm hearing some noise on the background. Let me just quickly mute. Yeah, let's quickly mute everybody so that you don't have any noise on the background. Okay, good. So, but the 180 days contract, you can't actually terminate it because that one is actually created for people who have that long-term visibility, that long-term thing in their mind. You want to make money for a more longer time and even make more bigger profit from it. You understand? That is what this 180 days contract has come to help us do. This was added just this October. So let us quickly wrap up and see the opportunities. So let me say what you can actually do for yourself with this vote. With a simple capital of $100, compounding it for 1%, that means we decide to do what we call a compounding. Like we always say, compounding is one of the 7 wonders of this world. We could actually turn small money to big money doing what we call compounding. Compounding simply means you just leave your profits to be adding up to your capital and earning for you every day for some specific period of time. $100, for example, compounded for 1 month, we give you 34.78%. $100 compounded for 1 year will give you over 3,000% on your $100. So that means your $100 could go to something as huge as over $3,000 in 1 year. Now imagine you starting up with $1,000. You could growing it up to something over $37,000. You are starting with $10,000, giving you something up to over $300,000. And of course, for someone who wants to go in all in and wants to say 2026, I want to become the next biggest boy in town. I want to become the next billionaire in town. You start with the $100,000 and you are sure within 1 year, over $3.7 million is going to definitely be your portion. If that is your case, I want you to quickly plug into this as fast as possible as you can. I assure you, every one of us are going to be celebrating in a very, very mega way, bigger way in the year 2026 and beyond. Thank you so much for following me in this first part of this presentation. I'm going to be handing over to my brother, my friend, my partner, Mr. Jerry, who is always there to take us to the next phase of this presentation. Thank you so much, sir. God bless. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my leader. I told you from the beginning of this Zoom that this is one gentleman I personally love to listen to. Why? Because I'm also a talkative, and sometimes when you see somebody spewing facts, you can't help but just to keep quiet and become a student for at least some 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I'm always pumped up each time I have the opportunity to listen to my brother here. I mean, we've known each other. We've been on this journey for several years. Like he said from the beginning, we've seen it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. I keep repeating this. We have seen things happen on this space. But then thankfully, we are in a world where information is no more held in secrecy. Every single thing can be proved, especially when it comes to blockchain. This babe right here has empowered, I keep saying, nobodies of yesterday with so much knowledge, so much information available for yourself, um, um, verification. You can go all out there. All the things he just talked about, he just pull up a contract and then on chain, not even on SMARTS website, but on an external website to be able to see the total profit extraction and all. That is the kind of future we live in now. And we are in a future where people's opinion don't really matter. What matters is the fact. Fact is on blockchain. Fact is that every single transaction that happens on blockchain through smart MEV bot can be verified, can be seen, can be proven, cannot be edited, cannot be erased, cannot be twisted, cannot be. Look, blockchain is the future, and that is when we saw smarts, we decided to jump on it. So now our presentation mostly takes 2 forms. The first form, like he rightly concluded, you really don't need to. You are not required to bring in somebody, right? You're not required to bring in somebody before you're able to make money with smarts. If you are one of those big boys like he cited with your very good capital, 100k, 200k, 500k, you may want to put it down and be feeding on the 1.5% daily returns. That's okay. The next session may necessarily not be your thing. But then if you are one of those guys like myself with very limited capital, one of the things you really want to do when it comes to this space is to learn how to leverage. I naturally love to leverage, but not on take advantage of people, but leverage on technologies and opportunities that are real. Why? Because I have grown and I've come to understand the power of what we call structural income. the power of building something, planting a seed. You know, I hail from Ghana. I am a Ghanaian, full-blooded Ghanaian. We are proud to be one of the leading producers of cocoa. Now, when you look at a cocoa farmer, what they do is that from the beginning of their journey, they put in so much effort. They go into plantation, and they make sure they nurture the farm to the point that it keeps harvesting. Now, that single effort keeps paying them year after year after year after year after year, because the hard work has been done from the beginning, and every season they just go in there and, you know, pluck or harvest the fruit of their labor. And then their generations, for me, my great grandfather's cocoa farm is still accessible to me, right? That is the sort of things you really want to build or to leverage on. And when it comes to the online space, you really need a platform such as Smart, where everything is genuine, everything is proven. Not in those days where a company will just tell you, you know what, we are involved in trading, and we use certain technologies to trade, and we share profit with you. Just put your money. Don't be bothered about how we do with your money. Just be concerned about the 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% we are giving you daily, and you are not obliged to even see the kind of trade happening with your money. Those era is far gone. The new thing, which is yet to be fully embraced and understood by more people, is what is really happening on the blockchain. And thank God you are here with me tonight, because right from the beginning, you know me, most of you are my followers. You know how we do it. We really don't put our face on things that we are not so sure really works. And we really take the time to make sure if it is A can be proven before we decide to place our bets on. And 2, 3 months, 4 months ago, when we said yes to Smart, we went all out, you know, trumpeting that this could become the biggest thing happening on the block on the internet right now. Thankfully, Smart has grown and vindicated all these things, proving to be one of the biggest things happening on chain right now. Don't be don't be deceived by the little number we have here, just about 43 of us. Even personally, in my team, there are over 2 to 3,000 active people who are going all out there, leveraging on this community, and then making a lot of money from it on daily basis. Now, that takes me to the phase 2 of this presentation, how or when you can actually leverage on. Give me 1 minute, let me share my screen. Okay.
We can't hear you, Mr. Jerry.
Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen and also hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about the earlier mix-up. So as I was going on and on, If you want a platform that you can build that business on, if you want a technology that you can leverage on, one of those fastest paying technology is SMARTS. Why? Because they have a very simple, flat, unilateral, unilevel, multi-level marketing reward plan that tends to maximize your potential, your earning potential from taking one simple action. Now, when Yinka was presenting earlier, he mentioned that at the end of each trade, there is what we call profit splits with the community. In any amount of percentage generated for the day, a certain portion is reserved and sent to the community reward pool for leaders who have taken time to refer others to build a community and to make it more vibrant. They benefit from this community reward. How do you benefit from it? It's very simple. First of all, you personally need to have at least an active contract running, and two, refer or talk to a friend or two about smart. It doesn't matter how many of them that comes on board. As soon as your first friend decides to be part of this whole contract or this whole movement, that is the journey of something huge that can grow up to become the cocoa tree I'm talking about. How does it work in reality? There are 20 reward levels available. And by levels, I simply mean that assuming I happen to join Smart and I referred, let's say, Chini, who just responded to me. Chini directly occupies what we call my level one. If Chini decides to go and invite somebody else who is mayor, remember we all have a friend and our friends have friends and their friends and family and all. I happens to, let's say, have only 2-3 friends that I know in my entire life, and these friends have decided to join me. Why would they want to join me? Because I have shared the good news about smart. I have seen a technology that is changing lives. Over 100,000 people trusting it for their daily cash out. And throughout all this existence, there has been no day that we recorded a loss. Now, that is something that beats a lot of people. A while ago, this afternoon, when I was having a session with a team from the US, somebody was asking me, how is it really possible that you embark on trade for more than 3-4 months, 5 months without incurring losses? And I was explaining that yes, that was one of the things that keeps beating your imagination, because what we do here is not necessarily buying to predict the future price of a token, and then when it tanks on us, we find ourselves wanting. What we are doing here is that Smart has been positioned to just monitor and scan all the meme pool, wait till a particular pending order which has the propensity, the capability of changing the cost of the price of a token. Assuming a token has been launched and then suddenly you see somebody about to buy about $1 million worth of such token, you don't need to be a scientist to know that when such volume of buy goes in, it will naturally trigger the price of that token to shoot up. So what this bot does is that in a worst case scenario, it may not even trade for you at all. And that's why sometimes I get out when I hear people say, today we only recorded 0.4 and 0.5, 0.6. Why are we not going to 10%? Why are we not going to 20%? That is the worst thing that can happen to you. And even in our worst scenario, we still go home with profit. For 4-5 months now, I've never gone home with zero or negative on Smart. So these are the testimonies you can share with your friends and then get them involved. Of course, we are not saying go and blow this out of proportion. We are only saying your friends out there are looking for side gigs that they can actually push in money, to leverage on, to also, meet the hustle. They are looking for something real, something legit that they can put their spare funds in to grow. And Smart is definitely one of those things you want to tell a friend if you really care about. So assuming you tell them and then the first guy decides to put in $100, congratulations, that now opens what we call your level one. So all your friends who occupy your level one, whenever the bot trades for them and they make profit, whatever they make, 10% of that comes to you at the end of the day as your daily community reward. Now, when your total friend or when all the friends you invited decides to put in up to 200, 300, 400, each extra addition of 100 opens extra layer or levels of earnings for you. So let's say, for instance, you referred a friend who also brought a friend who brought a friend, and at that point your friend only put in $100. What it means is that you are only restricted to earning 10% of his personal profit at the end of the day. Now you do not earn this 5% on his referral until your total direct volume increases to what, to $200, which now opens your level 2 and then allows you to earn extra 5% of their profit. Now, when it goes on with the addition of one extra handle, what it simply means is that when you have a total team direct team volume of 2,000, it could be one person doing it, it could be your entire team doing it. That automatically unlocks all your levels all the way to level 20, and whatever they make, any profit they make at the end of the day, 5% of that is rewarded to you for bringing them into this community. And that is where guys like us decides to leverage on so much, and to build a team, because one, this is something that already sells itself. When we started several months ago, a lot of people didn't even understand what an MEV trade was. It was difficult for us to prove to them that, well, there is this type of sandwich trade that can actually happen on the chain, and there's actually a way you can prove to it. You can prove all these trades. It was really difficult selling Smart those days. Thankfully, Smart has redeemed itself. It has made the work easier. All you need to do is to share your screenshots with a friend, and you see them coming in, and it's much easier to build a team and to invite friends to make all these funds from. So let's look at a preview or a pre-chat saying how you can actually make up to at least a substantial amount of monthly reward using a very simple structure. And by this, I'm talking about by 2 by 2, replication or duplication strategy. This simply means that in your whole life, let's say all you have is you have 2 friends. And then when I shared Smart with you, you decided to give it a go with, let's say, just $1,000, right? And you are seeing the results coming on daily basis. You see your profit drop on daily basis. Withdrawals take seconds to land in your wallet. Then you decide to also do exactly what I did by also referring to other friends who also have just 2 friends. Let's pretend that all the friends you ever know in your life, they only have two friends to bring. Even if you cut this thing off at just 10, level 10, you have the total team number ranging into over 1,000 plus, with all of them assuming they all come in with just $1,000, with a total team volume of over $1 million. And then also on the assumption that total daily profit is pegged at 1.5. This is just an estimate of how much you can make on daily basis. We are talking about what? About 978, close to $1,000. Now, guess what? We are in a community where leaders are already earning $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on daily basis on Smarts. These guys are not superhumans. They are not smarter in the words of in the strict sense of the word smart.
I'm worshiping. Yeah.
Am I lost again? Can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? Okay, so at the end of the day, we are talking about at least a monthly income from community structure alone amounting to about 29K. And this is money that you personally would have needed to invest a lot of personal funds to be able to generate on daily basis. All I'm saying is that there's a limit to how much we can put in as single investors, and there's also a limit on an unlimited amount that we can generate by leveraging on the team. Let me spare you all this and take you, I want to be more practical and take you to how the story has been right from the time we started on Smart. I remember that time when we started, I keep sharing this testimony. I keep reminding my my friends of how it all started. On that fateful day, when I woke up to my first ever community reward, this was on the 4th of July 2025. When I woke up to this amount of money, I was super excited, very, very, very excited. And how much are we talking about? $0.002. Why was I so excited about this? Because I knew that is the history, that is the first step towards history. Fast forward to today, gradually it increased the next day after I invited more friends too, and I realized that it jumped about 10 times bigger than what I got, and then gradually crippling in all the way into $1, $2 daily, and we kept going on to the threes, and then finally waking up to a day where I know at least $150 is guaranteed. $150 on daily basis for literally doing nothing. What did I do? I only invited 6 of my friends. Look at it, only 6 of my friends, 6 of them. And they decided that, look, they also have few friends that they want to bring. And then that is how beautiful a community is built. And based on this simple act, every morning, there are days I wake up to 200, 250, 300, 150, and all on daily basis. Guys, on daily basis. This is the sort of things I actually want you to tap into. Tell a friend. If you cannot explain this whole concept to them, that's why you have Jerry and Yinka. Every Friday night, we come on this call and we walk them through, and we encourage them, we empower them to be able to understand what we have here and also plug in. And at the end of the day, your business grows, you make money, we all make money. Fast forward to today, there are over 2,300 of us, investing about just $321,000 here, which is a very small and humble beginning. Trust me, next year, I know we're going to crash this figure. Things are just going to double up, especially after January. And I wouldn't want you to be left behind, because the story is still in the making, right? Story is still in the making. Daily trades keeps improving on daily basis. We've seen the board doing amazingly. Just yesterday, few hours ago, we ended up the day with 1.05%, and that is just the consistency we are talking about. You look at the previous weeks and days in the last 2-3 weeks, you realize that daily performance has been very, very steady. 1.46, 1.2, 1.45. It's been fantastic, in the last few days, and it's even about to get bigger and better with the launch of the atomic arbitrage bot and the rest. So you need to plug in as soon as you can, be part of this family. Don't just sit and say, look, I'm afraid. Look, trust me, we all have our fears. But one thing I have come to realize is that doubt, fear, they don't put anything on the table for you. What they normally do is to restrict you into a corner where you sit back and watch life transforming opportunities like SMART walk by. Imagine when we started, we were offering free registrations and free activations for a lot of our people, right? In fact, let me even take the opportunity to announce this. If you are new on this call tonight, you want to be part of this team tonight, your bot activation is on me. All I need you to do tonight is please go on, register with whoever invited you, fund your account with at least $100, send me screenshots of your account details, and I will pay the $50 for you to begin this journey with us. In fact, this promo lasts for the next 2 days until Sunday evening. Just get yourself registered, find your account with $100, send me your screenshot as a new member, and then I'll pay the $50 for you to begin this journey with us. That is what we bring to you each and every Friday when the Zooms are called here. So on this note, I would like to pause here and say thank you so much for having me around. Thank you so much for having me around. It looks like I have so many shares. Gosh. Okay. Yinka, please, if you can take over from me, so I stop the sharing for now. I'm struggling with my new device on how to stop the share, which I normally have here. Okay, awesome. So thank you so much for having me here tonight. At this point, we'd like to take few questions from especially all new members who. Oh, okay. I can see people saying they couldn't see well. Unfortunately, nobody drew my attention to that when I was doing the presentation. Sorry about that. Next time I'll take note. Um, Thank you so much for having us here tonight. If you're a new member joining us for the first time, like I promised, get in touch with whoever referred you to SMART, get yourself registered, ask for Jerry or Yinka, fund your account with at least $100, and send me screenshots of your username. Yinka and I will team up to pay for your subscription. Before I hang up, let me also say good evening to all my leaders. I see a very, very special leader in the house, a man of God, PSO. Thank you so much for joining us. My upline coach, Mayor, and Pastor Mensa, and all the leaders in the house. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. If you have anything to add, please go ahead and add. If not, we call it a night and come back again on Friday. Awesome. Okay. All right. I got your message. I'll reach out to you also as soon as possible and then make sure I help you sign up. But first of all, get in touch with whoever referred you, sign up, send me the username, fund the account, and then I'll pay for you. Thank you too for reaching out to me. Okay, Mayor, please. I don't know if you have anything to add, Miwanda, and all the leaders in the house. I must actually say I've seen a lot of you here that the time will not permit us. On that note, thank you so much for coming. See you again on Friday. Keep it